Hi everyone. I thought I would try this as a new way to commune with you all and try and get my videos out a little bit more frequently because I think a little bit too much and I get a little bit nervous and then I end up putting things off and it doesn't happen. I want to change that. I'm going to make an effort this year to just put my videos out there. Doesn't matter if I have bad hair or not, I'm just going to do it. Who cares? I know you all don't care. You just want to hear what we're going to talk about. So, today I just want to talk fairly quickly about scent and essential oils and fragrance oils lasting in your soap recipes. I get asked the question a lot, and for some reason, heaps lately on my YouTube comments, I've been getting asked, how do you get your fragrance to last in your soap bars? Or how do you get your essential oils to last? How do you get them to stick? They just don't stick. So there are a couple of things to think about when it comes to this issue. The first is you've got to use essential oils and or fragrance oils that are actually suitable for your soap recipes. Unfortunately, that is really hard to achieve in some parts of the world. Not everywhere has access to companies like Aussie Soap Supplies or, Brambleberry in the USA, or places where you can buy really good quality fragrance oils that we know are going to be suitable for putting into soap recipes. That's half the challenge. Um, a lot of the fragrance oils, from what I can gather, in a lot of places, they are marketed as essential oils, but often they're not essential oils, and who knows what's in them. From what people tell me, they often don't work in soap recipes. And that's really disappointing when you spend your hard earned dollars on essential oils. You think you're buying essential oils and they turn out to be dodgy. So that's a real challenge, which I can't answer for you, but it's something to think about. Maybe consider other ways of fragrancing your soap or trying to find pure essential oils. When it comes to essential oils, it's really important to use blends and blend your essential oils in a way that is balanced. If you've heard about essential oil blending, and I do have an older video on that topic that shows you how to actually work out your blends in terms of the drops and, be able to replicate those little test blends into larger soap recipes and how to increase the quantities. So I'll link that in the description box. But in terms of getting those blends right, you do need to have what they call base notes, middle notes, and top notes, ideally. You don't necessarily have to have all three, but it's really advisable, I think, to make sure that you've got base notes in your soap, in your essential oil blends. Base notes are the heavier, earthier, woodsier type scents, things like cedar and patchouli and any other kind of really woody, grounded, thick sort of resinous type essential oils. They can be really important to help anchor the whole blend. If you just use really fleeting top notes in your essential oil blends, they're not going to last. On that note, citrus essential oils are notorious for fading out. Things like straight lemon, straight grapefruit essential oil, bergamot, or bergamot, I'm not quite sure how to say it, they just don't last. You can put them into your soap recipe and within a week you can't smell anything at all, which is really disappointing. So avoid those essential oils that have a terrible reputation, and you'll have to do your own research to find out what they all are. Knowledge is power. Make sure you do your research. Once you've got a fragrance oil that you know works in your soap, or you've got an essential oil blend that you know is going to work, you've done your research, you've tested them out in small batches, you've got some nice earthy base notes in there to help anchor the scent. The most important thing, I think, after that is storage and wrapping of your soap. Obviously, depending on how much water you put in your soap recipes, within the first couple of weeks, you're going to want to leave your soap somewhere airy and dry so that it can dry off some of that excess water in the soap bars. But once they're dry enough, you can wrap them. Some professional soap makers that I know, actually most of them do, they wrap their soap in some sort of paper or cardboard. Some shrink wrap, some use biodegradable shrink that's hard to say, shrink wrapping material to shrink wrap their soaps, but some kind of wrapping can help hold the fragrance into the soap bar. Essential oils and fragrances, they're full of they're volatile oils, they gas off, they do evaporate out of the soap bar, especially if you leave them out in the open. What I do here at home, and probably some of you already know this if you've seen my old video about soap storage, is that I keep my soap after the first week or two, once it's dried off enough, I put it in here. This is my old soap cupboard, and I keep my soap in these drawers. I'll show you in a sec, but let me see if I can show you. So, whoops. So I don't know if you can see in there, but all of my soap, different little random bars, they're all in there. And as soon as I open that, I can smell the fragrance in that. It's quite good. And this here, this is a damp rid. I just refill these up by the refills, but these are moisture absorbers, which are really, really handy for continuing the cure process of your soap. I put these in here and make sure they're refreshed and they continue to draw moisture out of the soap. So that works really well. And keeping them in the drawers really does help hold the scent. So that's really important. You've got getting the scent right in the first place, but then storing and wrapping your soap adequately after that. Those are the two best tips really. So I hope that helps. I really feel for you if you're in a place where you just don't have access to good quality fragrance or essential oils for soap making. If you live in a situation like that, there's a good chance you might be in a rural place, and if that's the case, then you might be able to grow some herbs or some nice resinous herbs like rosemary or lavender that you can then you could dry them and infuse those in your soap making oils like I did in my rosemary soap video. If you infuse fresh herbs into your oils and then use that oil in your soap recipe, you won't get a lot of scent, but you might get a little bit. But that is a good technique that you could explore and see if you can get some fragrance into your soap that way. The other thing too is, and those of you who know me really well won't be surprised to hear me say this, but just embrace plain soap. There is something really beautiful, especially when you've been making soap for a really long time, and it's over 10 years for me now. I think this is my 11th year. I started in 2014 and it's now 2025. I really quite love plain soap these days. It doesn't always have to have a scent or a fragrance for me. It can be quite plain, and that's okay. So I hope that's helpful for you all. Great to see you. Happy New Year. I'm still writing my book. I think it's going to take me ages, but I just have to have faith in the process and just keep working at it, and hopefully I finish it sooner rather than later. But it's a big process, and there's a lot of learning in it for me. So I just have to be patient with myself, and I hope you can all be patient with me too. Thank you so much for all of your support. See you next time. Bye.